Hi, this is my audience, Sean. I will be talking to you a little bit about Anne Frank, her life under Nazi rule during World War II, and how she became known worldwide because of her diary. Anne Frank was a German Jewish teenager during the time of the Nazi Germany. She was born on June 12, 1929, in Frankfurt am Germany, the second child to her parents Otto and Edith Frank. Her older sister Margot Frank was born in 1926. The Franks called Germany their home for many generations, and in 1933 they had to leave and start a new life in the Netherlands due to Nazi rule. Otto moved his family in with Edith's mother. He then moved to Amsterdam, Germany, and started a business which sold pectin. Within a year later, all the Franks lived in Amsterdam, Germany with Otto. On May 1942, the Netherlands were attacked by Germany. In only 5 short days they surrendered. This meant that Nazis were now in control. All kinds of anti-Jewish laws were enforced. Anne had to now attend a Jewish school, and in May 1942 all Jews over the age of 6 were forced to wear a yellow Star of David on their clothing to identify themselves. Anne received a diary for her 13th birthday that she wrote in about her everyday activities. This diary later on will be published for the world to know her story. Because of Nazi control, the Franks knew that they had to hide because they could no longer escape the Netherlands because of all the borders were blocked off. They decided they would go into hiding on July 16, 1942. However, Margot received a departure notice on July 5th, so they went into hiding the next day, which was July 6, 1942. The Franks' hiding place, which is better known as the secret annex in Anne's diary, was above Anne's father's business. Shortly after moving into the annex, the Van Peels family joined them, and 5 months after, the dentist Frederick, also known as Fritz, moved in. Anne continued to write in her diary until August 1st, 1944. She wrote about the cramped and harsh living styles they all now had to live. On August 4th, 1944, 2 years after going into hiding, all 8 people living in the annex were found, arrested, and taken to Westbrook. Anne was only 15 at the time. On September 3rd, 1944, all 8 of them were shipped on the very last train leaving from Westbrook to Auschwitz. They were all eventually split up and moved into different camps. Anne died a few days after Margot in March 1945 from typhus. Anne and her family's story was so well known because of the diary she kept during life as a Jew living under the Nazi rule, and later as her family spent their 2 years together hiding. She also wrote short stories and quotes in her diary. Anne wrote in her diary that it would be interesting if her story about the secret annex were published. She began rewriting her diary and editing it until she was arrested by the Nazis and taken away. 2 of their helpers while in the secret annex, Miep, Giles, and Bep, gathered as many of Anne's writings as possible and kept them safe. After the war, when Otto and Miep were reunited, she gave them all of Anne's writing. In 1947, Otto published the first version of Anne's diary, which was later republished, The Diary of a Young Girl, in 1952. A fact I found while researching Anne that I had not previously known is that Anne's diary was actually an autograph album. Another interesting fact was that her father, Otto, actually typed her diary himself before it was published. I chose to research Anne because for as long as I can remember, I have always been interested in the stories of the Holocaust. In 6th grade, we spent most of the year covering Anne's story and many more like hers. I had forgotten most of the details and decided I would like to go back and refresh myself with the information because I have always found it interesting. And I just want to say thank you to my audience.